Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, June 19th, 2023. I made a mistake last week of saying we were halfway through the year, and I was wrong. We're not quite halfway through the year. We still have, I don't know, 12 more days, 11 more days, and then we'll be halfway through 2023. So, all that stuff I said last week, just plan for that the next go around whenever we do hit the halfway mark. Uh, I want to know how everybody is doing. We had a good weekend, and I was able to go to the lake and hang out with some family and some friends, celebrate Father's Day, go out on a boat with, our friends have a nice pontoon boat, go out there, have some drinks, and just relax. And let me tell you, there's value in that. There's a lot of value in that. It's easy to get caught up in the constant go, 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 rush, rush, rush. And I'm typically that way. I mean, I want to keep doing more things and just go, go, go. And there's a benefit to just saying, hey, you know what? We're going to take a few days off and just relax. And so that was a really good time. We did some grilling out and played some games, and like I said, had to hang out with family and friends. And it's just not. It doesn't. It's just not often enough. You think back. I think back whenever we're kids, we're young, right? And I'm a Gen X. We all know how that is. Gen X. We were turned loose. We were feral kids. Don't come home. Stay outside. Drink out of the water hose. We don't want you in here. All this sort of thing. And we did a lot of. I know I did a lot of, let's say, traveling on my bike, and we would ride for miles just to get to a friend's house. And today that doesn't happen. Just doesn't seem that way anymore. If a kid wants to go somewhere, the parents are taking them, or their parents are picking them up, and all these sort of things. You don't see kids. At least I don't see kids riding bikes on the road anymore, trying to get from point A to point B. I even remember riding to my one friend's house, and I'll say this, as I said before, we called them coal trucks. So growing up, I never knew they were called dump trucks. I only knew them as coal trucks. The dual axle in the back and the big dump bed. Coal truck. That's all I knew it as. I didn't know they were called dump trucks till much later. So I know, weird, right? Um, we used to ride our bikes down this 2-lane main road with coal trucks flying by at 60 miles an hour. You'd be on your little 20-inch bike pedaling on the edge of the road, and all of a sudden you'd be kind of blowing off the road and try to get back on the road. It's a wonder more of us honestly weren't killed in that time, because it was living on the edge. It really was. But you don't see that anymore. And so I think about the times like that when we would go out of our way to hang out with our friends and go do things, go down to the park in our little town. It was a 7-mile bike ride to get to our park. And so we would ride down to the park and play ball, and then have to bike home 7 miles back, right? And you miss those days when you get older, and you're constantly trying to do things and take care of this and take care of family and fix this or do that. Those moments seem like they're just forever lost. You just don't have that chance. So take advantage of that while you can. Make sure you hang out with people, and enjoy yourselves a bit. To that, I'm going to say that in not this coming week, the next week, first week, whatever July is. I don't even know what the date is. I have to look at the calendar here. I won't be doing a live stream on July 1st, or I'm sorry, July 2nd. No, 3rd. July 3rd. I will not be doing a live stream on July 3rd. So you have to just entertain yourselves for that evening. But anyway, let's continue with tonight's topics and conversations. Uh, we want to talk about cars and stuff going on in our own personal worlds and progress and all those sort of things that make it worth talking about. If you'll notice tonight, I'm wearing my green Joe Daddy's hat. I haven't worn that in a while. And I'm going to do it. Look at this. This is dirty too, but I mean, it's not dirty. It's stained. This is my old school. This is my first generation Joe Daddy's Garage T-shirt. Many of you may have never seen one of these, but this is what was on it. So that's a throwback to my '55 Chevy that I had. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, you're a Ford guy. You're a Ford guy." No, I'm a car guy, and my camera keeps tilting down all by itself. So anyway, that was one of my cars, my '55 Chevy, and I hope everything's coming out okay. I don't know if I'm fuzzy or if it's just the way it looks on my screen, but let's see who's here tonight, and we'll go on from there. First in tonight is Jerry from Jerry's Garage, the Money Pit. He messed me up there a little bit, changed it a little bit, didn't he? Jerry checking in from the Money Pit, normal what I say, in Middle Tennessee. Good evening to all. Thumbs up for Barry. I hope everyone had a great holiday and could celebrate as we should. Yes. Yeah. I enjoyed my Father's Day weekend. And we still haven't had our whole family get together yet. Probably going to do that Friday and do our whole, kids and grandkids and everything get together. Terry Keithley. Glad you're here, Terry. I know I missed you last week. Not my fault, but I see you now. Evening all, Barry. Please hit the thumbs up like button. Hope you all had a great Father's Day. Steve Grimes checking in. Good evening from very warm South Central PA. Yeah, I heard it's been pretty warm up there. Yeah. Glad to hear, Steve. Dave Tyson. Good evening from still hot and muggy Minnesota. Glad to hear, Dave. Troy Justin. Happy Monday. I hope all had a good day. I had a good day with the grandson at the beach. Can't argue with that. Beach is good. Roger checking in. Hindsight 6-7. Greetings from next door. Glad to hear, Raj. Rick Gain. Infernal Craftsman did a nice job with using undercoating video, with his undercoating video. Looking forward to seeing progress with his car. Glad to hear, Rick. I haven't had a chance to see that video yet, but I did see pictures. Yes, it does look good. Robert checking in. Thanks, Rick. So if you haven't checked his video, by all means, the Infernal Craftsman, go check out his latest video he's done. Dawn's Manufacturer, hello from windy, wet, 60-degree PDX. Some parts had snow yesterday. Okay, that feels unexpected. So glad to hear, Dawn. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw you had another video up, and you're waiting on paint still. So maybe we'll talk about that some more. But that's no fun waiting on materials. Crash Rider, greetings from Southern Indiana to everyone. Be sure to give the dog, Duke of Georgia, a like tonight. The DOG. Evans Garage. Hey, all had grand plans of finishing the last few welds on Firewalls weekend. Instead, I did nothing productive. I can relate to that. Yeah. I really didn't get much done this past week. There was a lot of things going on. Just planning to go to the lake and all these different things. And I really didn't get much done at all. But I did manage to get the other video edited and up. And it seems like people have enjoyed that video. That was part 8. Robert says, evening all, the miserable season is in full force. 102 degrees daily and dew points up to 80%, I guess. Or 80 degrees, sorry. Heat indexes of 115 and much higher. That is not fun at all, but glad you're here. Tommy checking in, Busted Knuckle Garage, evening all, for a Craftsman good video on the undercoating. So there's another shout out from Tommy. Dawn, hey Robert, I saw you're staying, got her underpants on. That'll work. Mick Seth, my notification says 4 p.m. Obviously starts at 6 p.m. I am in Central Time Zone. Yeah, I don't know why it would say 4 p.m. That's odd. That is very odd. But glad you're here, Mick. And Robert's talking to Dawn. A lot more done yesterday. And also to Mick. My TV says 11 p.m. despite it being set to Central Time. Don't know why. Okay. Terry Baptist. hello from Pinellas Park, Florida. Glad you're here, Terry. Good evening, Barry and all, from Ray Buckman. Glad you're here, Ray. And Terry, nothing with having a couple, I guess, brewskis is what you're trying to say that. Brewskis with friends and family every now and then. Yes, I agree. Jerry checking in. Hi, Barry. Howdy, y'all. Hope everyone's day is awesome. Well, thank you, Jerry. Blue Healer. Greetings from cold in northern Nevada. In the 60s, summer is 2 days away, and snow on the hills. Heading to San Antonio tomorrow. You're really wanting to get away from that cold, huh? 60 degrees sounds awesome, though, I must say. William, climb to glory here in rainy Statesboro, Georgia. Howdy. Howdy, William. And Rusty's Restoration. Hey, Barry, greetings from Southern Indiana. Got a new project, 68 Mustang. I'll send you some pics soon. Okay. Well, if you want to send them to my stream tonight, you can, and we'll pop them up if you want. But glad you're here. Let's see. Robert saw Don's video about the paint mixer being MIA. Maybe I need some of his chips to match, and I'll bring him a gallon of paint from the paint store here. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to say what's going on. I don't know because I know like the PPG store that I use and other PPG stores in particular, even non-PPG stores I've seen have their paint gun where you can take them a panel or a good sized paint chip or something, and they'll shoot that thing with a paint gun, and it reads every ingredient in there and it tells you what the mix is. So I don't know if who he's going to is I mixing this stuff. I don't know, but I know we've had good luck with the gun mix because it tells you exactly what's in that paint. So I don't know. I don't know what the story is. Why they can't do it unless they're just doing it by eye. And I don't even know if I would trust myself because I know when we would mix paint, I would see it one way and my partner would see it another, and we'd go back and forth and back and forth and trying to figure out is this right or is this right. And a lot of times, we would argue about it. Terry Baptist, will you be replacing quarter panels on the Cobra Jet Mustang? Yes, in one way or another. We're trying to salvage as much of the original quarter panels as we can, but we have two new quarter panels. One is a Dynacorn and one is sort of Dynacorn. It's not quite as close as the kind of Dynacorn is, but more than likely we'll be there's talk of doing some custom work. Just put it that way. So we've already said we're going to put mini tubs in it for one thing, and there may be some other custom work happening with the quarter panels, maybe getting wider, maybe. So we're still working on that plan, but yeah, either way, the quarter panels have to come off of the original car, the upper three quarters. I'm going to try to use those, and then use the lower sections out of the new ones. So they will be getting replaced, in a sense. Tracy Renko. Good evening, all. Hope everyone is doing well. I've not seen that name before, so glad you're here, Tracy. It rhymes with Yanko, I guess, right? So you could start your own car company and have Renko Camaros and Renko Novas. William, is that a 65 Falcon behind you? It is not. It is not. I'm looking at your name and I'm trying to think, how do I say that? Because it looks like I should just say Gil. I don't know how else you say it. It just doesn't work any other way. So I'm just going to guess and say Gil. Or Gwil, maybe Gwil. I don't know. That car is a 64 Studebaker. Yeah, 64 Studebaker Commander. We'll talk about that some, I guess. This car is, my brother's car. He passed away a couple years ago, and I ended up buying it from an auction sale that his widow just say widow, put on. So I ended up buying it from the auction sale, and I also had bought some other parts from another auction sale that she was disposing of all of his property. Yeah, out of love and kindness, she was selling off everything he ever owned, and yeah, so I ended up with the Studebaker. Now that car needs a lot of work. It's got rust issues. It's got who knows? I don't even know what status is. I don't know when that car was last run. It does have a Studebaker 289 in it. Has a 4-speed, um, not factory. It was a 3-speed on a column, but it is a 4-speed currently. My brother has put a Ford 9-inch rear end underneath it, and I was actually talking to somebody today about this because a friend of mine went on the Hot Rod Power Tour, which started here in Atlanta and ended up at Bristol, Tennessee. Now, I've said it before. I don't pay much attention, I guess, or enough attention to those sort of things or those events. And so, let me get my camera straightened up. Um, I never really thought about even doing the uh, the power tour before because I didn't know how long it was. I didn't know where they went. I wasn't too interested. But he said they made he started in Atlanta, drove up to South Carolina, ended up somewhere else, and then Bristol. And he said it was a good time. Um, they had 3 stops or something, and then 3 or 4 stops, and then they drove back on Friday. So I've been kind of thinking about this a little bit. How can I take advantage of the idea of going on a power tour? Um, there's other YouTubers that do it. I know that I actually saw DD Speed Shop at one of the events last year, um, and I'm like, wow, what could I do? Because I could take the Mustang. I could. I don't know that I want to, but I could. But I was thinking about it today. I'm like, it's possible. I could take the Studebaker, not paint it, not make it fancy, not get it all crazy, but just clean it up, kind of the way it is, and take it on the Hot Rod Power Tour. So I'm debating on that. Now, one thing I would probably do for sure is swap out that whole front end. We talked about it before. All this front steering and all this crazy stuff that they have up front, it's got to go. It's got tractor style steering on it. I'm going to put a Mustang 2 style suspension underneath it. I want to keep the Studebaker engine and transmission. I'm going to need a radiator. I'm going to have to make a drive shaft. Probably put all new, brake setup on it. Hopefully, I don't have to swap out the steering column. Who knows? Right now, I don't know for sure. But I'm thinking, that might not be a bad idea to put that car together as it is, crusty and rusty, and just take it on a power tour. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. Obviously, I have um, the Mach 1 to build, so that's my focus. I don't want to get off on another tangent. I want to try to get everything done on that as I can. But that is just a thought. Just a thought. All right. So the Garage Gladiator. Hello, all from Buckhorn, Ontario, Canada. That's a new name. Welcome, Garage Gladiator. Wild Bill. Hi, Barry. Happy Monday to you. Thank you, Wild Bill. Glad you're here. And William says yes to the last one, which was Gwill, I think I said. I think I said. He says, oh, wow, glad you were able to get his car. Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I even thought about I have a license plate. I've debated on what I want to do with it. Like, my brother's name was Henry. And, I don't know if I want to have a license plate made. It says Henry on it. But I have a license plate up here that was on my 55 Chevy that was Rattlecan. And it's Ratlcan. And I thought, maybe I'll just put that license plate back on that car. Maybe. We'll see. Wild Bill, same engine as the Avanti. Yes. Yeah. And I have other parts for this I have to go pick up still. They're up in Pennsylvania. I I've got there's another engine, another transmission, and a supercharger that was on this car. So I may be, I'm debating on doing the whole supercharger thing. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. Because honestly, I don't even know if this engine runs. I don't know when it was last fired up. So I'll probably do one of those videos like, this car was sitting for 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it'll run. And then who knows, I'll put a battery in it, turn the key, and it'll fire right up. Terry Baptist, for a minute there, I thought it was a 64 Ford Fairlane. Yeah, you could see that with the shape of the, if you block off, I don't know how to block it off. If you block off parts of it, I can't do it. Block off parts of it, you can see those kind of shapes in that car. It's also, some people think it's a Rambler as well. William, yeah, I want to do the power tour next year in my 65 Falcon 2-door sedan. Yeah, that sounds good. Dave Britton checking in. Whoops. Glad to hear, Dave. In fact, I need to do some more checking with the Studebaker organization that there's still fenders available for this car, NOS fenders. And I think there's going to be a cruise or car show or something up in Tennessee somewhere. And again, one of the guys had said they have new fenders they'll sell. So it needs new fenders. It definitely is not in the best of shape. So I'm going to have to see if I can get up there and get a hold of some fenders. Tracy, the 4-day they were doing, the 4-day they were in Concord, North Carolina. Okay, thank you, Tracy. Dave Conville, our second Dave sighting. Good evening. Glad you're here, Dave. William, you do yours and I'll do the same to mine. Mine has more holes than the Pope's underwear. You might want this. I made a video on this car. It's rough. It is rough. Make sure you get your cup of coffee. If your car's in coffee, so you got to have coffee along with the car talk. Let's see, Michael Pagliarini. Hello, all. Late to the party. Lost track of time working on the 65. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing on that or wrong with getting lost in your work, I guess. I'm glad you're here, Michael. Rusty's Restoration. I attempted to send a couple pics to your email. Whoa, wait a minute. Uh-oh. I didn't do anything, I swear. I'm still here. I don't know what's going on with the internet. The internet's been acting crazy. It's really acting crazy. Okay, let me see if I can get. So I have a couple of pictures here from Rusty. That's a cool looking deal. Okay. William says you're blocking it perfectly. Yeah, I am. I am in the way. I'm definitely in the way. Yeah, the internet's been acting weird, not only here, but other people have been having problems. And it's, like we had 5G here in our regular service, and it keeps kicking off to LTE now. So I don't know what's going on. So we'll just give it. Let's put a quarter in and turn a crank and and we'll see what happens. So I have one picture from Rusty, and I have a second picture from Rusty. Okay. So let's look at that. Now that looks different. And I don't know if it's because you've got a narrower looking rear end underneath it, but that back wheel is really tucked in there. I see a roll bar. It appears to be a roll bar. I'm assuming it's a roll bar. I can't see the picture very well. It's pretty small on my screen. And it looks like the scoops have been accentuated on the side. See that? I used the word accentuated, just like that. Um, I think. Yeah. Okay. I pulled it up on email. So there's a picture. There's a roll bar in there, and there's something going on with that quarter panel. I don't know if it's flared out, but the rear axle is really tucked under. So we'll have to get some more information on that. And here's the other part. Check this out. So he's got a fiberglass removable hardtop. So I'm assuming those are going together. So that would be an interesting combo. I don't know if that's for that 68 or not, but I guess it is. I can't tell from the picture. So we'll have to get some more information here. Okay, he says it's a tubbed rear end. Okay, I knew something was off. Let's see. Crash Rider. Bet your brother would be pretty proud that you cared enough to honor him by doing the power tour. Well, yeah, and I like I said, it gives me um, a reason, let's say, for doing all the work to it, getting it actually drivable again. So we'll see how it goes. A lot going on around me, but we'll see how it goes. Harvey, hello Barry from warm New Jersey. Here late, but made it. Glad you're here, Harvey. Terry Baptist, I guess you will have to get out the breaker bar, and if the engine still spins, yeah. Well, I honestly don't know what the status is, but yeah, it won't take much to figure it out, I guess. And I don't know when it was last even fired up. It might have been 20 years ago, honestly. It might have been longer than that because I made a video. That's crazy. I made a video that was from 1992. So when I did a video on that car, well, on it was a variety of things, but it was talking about this car in particular. I opened up that video sequence with a shot of this car at the old junkyard. And when I opened the hood, which is the same setup it is right now, I opened the hood. That was in 1992. And the supercharger was on it, but there was no radiator in it. So I don't even know for sure when it was last fired up because I doubt that he did anything to it between 92 and 2 years ago. I really doubt that because there's like some oddball radiator that's just sitting in it. Doesn't even fit the car. It might not have been started up in before 92 even. That car might not have been run for at least 30 years. I hadn't really thought about that till now. Let's see. The Dawn, hello, Barry and gang. Arrived late, but glad I'm here. Glad you're here, Dawn. And Dawn says, progressing nicely on the Cobra Jet. Loving this build. And Robert, the bedliner looks great too. Good. Sticky bell. Yeah, there's still more to do, obviously. Lots has to happen before we get to the point of welding stuff back, pieces back together as a whole car. Rusty says it's a full frame, removing roof and making a 2-seat Roadster with a removable fastback top. Interesting. Full frame car too. That'll be interesting. Let's see. Terry Keithley, just a thought. The license plate Hank 64. Then put a picture on the dash and take him along. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Um, the funny part is on that we always called him Henry, and so I yeah I'll come up with something. If I do come up with something, either it'd be the rattle can or something along those lines. It could be Henry 64 as well, but we'll see what I come up with. Good idea though, Terry. Thank you. Evan. So besides manually turning the crank, what are some steps before firing up after years of storage, oil and spark plug holes, any other things to prevent possible damage? That's a good question. I know typically, yes, you want to see if it turns, right? And if it does turn, then the math, I say math, then you have to do the math that says when was it turned last? And how much of a risk am I putting it in trying to turn it if the cylinder walls have a little bit of rust in them and that sort of thing? So I should probably just be proactive and squirt some Marble Mystery Oil into it. Just try to angle some in there and get it on the cylinder walls. Let it kind of soak into the rings, and just as a caution type of thing. And then start cranking it by hand and see if there's any resistance. Go through that process. Of course, the plugs will be out. Um, then from there, it'll be a combination of things. Like I know he had hooked up an electric fuel pump. Now I don't know exactly why. I don't know enough about what parts are available for these cars, which I assume most of it is. Um, as to whether you can, I'm guessing fuel pumps are probably available. So it may need a fuel pump, or it could have, I don't know what drove the fuel pump. If it runs off the cam like they normally do, maybe it has a bad cam or something. So there's a variety of things that could be wrong with making that fuel pump work. And maybe that's why he has the electric one hooked up. Or maybe he just decided he was going to bypass the main fuel system because the tank is out and just put in a gallon jug somewhere and just use that pump. So there's going to be some things that have to be looked at to make sure it's okay. From there, it'll be, of course, getting it to where you have spark. Make sure all the spark plugs are going to fire. Plug wires are good. Check the distributor, see if it's even set in the right position, and add fuel to it and give it some bumps. See what happens. So there'll be a variety of things that will take place. I know that I have to make a drive shaft for it. The rear end that's in it is a Ford 9-inch out of a Lincoln Versailles, with disc brakes, and he has pieces in there. So I know my brother. He would have made his own drive shaft, and I'm not going to do that. I've done that before. We actually built one for the stock car before, and it worked fine. But I'm not going to build it for this car. I'll take it to a shop and say, "Here, I need you to make this into a one magic drive shaft." And so, that's fine. I'd rather pay somebody and have it made and balanced and know that it's good than to have something you're fighting with. And then, of course, I have to look at the other things around that, like the brakes. What is it going to need for a master cylinder and proportioning valve or combination valve, and or maybe a proportioning valve itself off of the blocks, that sort of thing. So there's still a lot to go through on it. It's not a priority at the moment. I may consider ordering because I'm going to put a Mustang 2 style suspension under the front. I'm not playing around with this goofy tractor steering with pitman arms and drum brakes. I'm not doing that. It's going to have a modern style brake setup. So I may go ahead and order one of those and just have it here and know that if it takes 6 months to get here, so what? It's here. That's fine. So I may have to do that. Good question, Evan. Something to think about. Donnie Williams, greetings. Greetings, Donnie. Looking at your thumbnail there, I can't quite tell what it is. Looks like an astronaut or something. Roger, we can bore scope the cylinders if you want to. Yeah, we could do that. That's a possibility. Robert, the nozzle from the Eastwood internal frame coating kit would work well at fogging oil into the cylinders. Yeah, I don't know if I still have that thing, but you're right. It would. That would work good for spraying that around. Do I still have that thing? I'd have to find it. I feel like I should still have it, but I don't know where I put it. William, make sure the grounds are good is a big one too. Yes, that's a very valid point. William says I've got to switch from 4-lug to 5-lug wheels on my Falcon. Yeah, Well, I actually think this has the same lug pattern as is a Mustang. It's not because the Lincoln. I noted the wheels that are on it match front to rear, and if I remember, I think Studebaker has a Ford matches the Ford small lug pattern. So that's another thing I need to come up with. It's a cool set of wheels. Definitely need to come up with a cool set of wheels. What's on it right now is just these. I don't even know what they are. I don't know what they are. They're almost like you probably can't make out that front one very well. They're a black wheel with holes all the way around, but they're not like the ones you buy the aftermarket style from like for racing. These are I don't even know what they are. But if I'm going to come up with something, I need to have a cool set of wheels put on it. You know, trying to think of what I've seen pictures of. You know, the old standby is a Krager SS. That's an easy one. There you go. Put some Kragers on it. Be done with it. But I don't know if I want to go that route just yet. But I do have the hubcaps for it, so I could put. That's a good point there. Um, William says old hubcap standard wheels. Yeah, I could do the old hubcap, and Aaron says Steely's. Glad you're here, Aaron. And William also says hubcap. So you know what I could do is I could buy some 8-inch wide, just steel rims. I don't know what size they are. If they're 14s or 15s, I have to look at the hubcaps again. Tyson, 22 with spinners. Yeah, I don't think I can do 22s with spinners. There's not enough fender clearance. Can't do that. William, I love the salt flat wheels. Yeah, those look pretty cool. I did put like the dune buggy had baby moons on it, so that's another kind of cool look. Dave says I think torque thrust will look great. Yeah, they would. It's hard to go with torque thrust and torque thrust D. I don't know what you're saying. DS D, torque thrust D's. Maybe we're trying to say torque thrust and got an extra letter in the middle there somehow. William, finding 14-inch tires is a PETA. Yes, it is. Uh, I don't know. I don't even know what size the original wheels were on this car. I was assuming they were 15s. Look at that. I'm getting glitchy again. William, Barracuda style wheels will look awesome on that Studi. Yeah, I'd have to look and see. I'd have to look and see. I can't picture those in my mind right now, so I have to look that up. Um, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to go with it. There's all kinds of different directions. You could even get the old steel, like we had on the dirt track car, um, this black steel wagon wheels. Simple, cheap. You know, it would have. Might have to just think I'm on a budget. Let's go with the cheapest wheel that I can come up with. Rusty, that's why the 68 looks so funny. 18 by 8 wheels on a tub dot car. Yeah, it doesn't help. Ray Buckman, wheels do make a car, no matter how rough, stand out. That is true. You can have an ugly car. You can have an ugly car, and you put the nice set of wheels on it, and suddenly people love it. They just don't care. They see the shiny wheel or whatever it is, and it's like, oh man, check that out. Or if you put regular rusty wheels on the car, they're just like, oh, look at that rusty car. Yeah, I know on the 55 Chevy, I had those aluminum wheels on it and centerline style wheels, and it made a big difference on that car. Dave says, Dave Britton, if you mean the Dodge Rally wheel, those will look good too. Yeah, I'll have to look at some pictures. Michael Pagliarini D's are two-tone. Okay. Well, that makes sense now. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the letter variation or something there. So, and William, I agree, Ray. Wheels would make my Falcon actually look like a car. Just having wheels. And I'm curious. I got to see what size what size the actual wheels are, or at least the ones that are on it, because I don't know. Looks like they're 15s. Nope, they're 14s. I was wrong. Yeah, 14s. 14s got to go. I won't be using 14s on that. Nope. Um, Robert, I need a couple used 14 or 15-inch tires to get the El Camino over here, and the tire shops have nothing. Everything is 17-inch these days. Yeah, I've got some 14-inch wheels on the Studebaker right here. I probably have a full set of rallies with tires on them sitting out in the barn. Yeah, 8-inch rally wheels, but nothing special about them. They're just off a '69 Corvette, date coded, so they don't really matter. Yeah, William. Yeah, that's it, Dave. And Dave says, I'm guessing 14s. He put the S there. Yeah, 14s is what they are. So I'll have to look at what's available, especially with tires. Ray, I got rid of the wire wheels that came with my Vet, traded for some proper rally wheels, had them powder coated dark green, looks black at times. Yes. Yeah, I have uh I do have a set of rally wheels from my buddy's '69 Corvette, and I don't know what the code is. If what did they call them back then? The ZL1 or whatever. What did they call the '69 Corvette that had a 427 and a 4-speed in it? What was the code for it? Because I never remember that. Um, but his was a 427 4-speed car, and it had the cable drive tachometer in it. It had a cable drive off of the distributor, and so that car was supposedly whatever the ZL1 or L80. I don't know, L88. Roger says, I don't know. Whatever the magic code is, but it had a set of 15-inch 15 by 8 rally wheels on it that were original to that car. So they have the date code for the '69 Corvette. So they've got to be worth something to somebody somewhere. Nick, glad you're here, Nick. Hope all is well. Don says no tire selection for 14-inch and 15-inch wheels. Yes, that is true. Yeah. Nick, speaking of parts, does anyone need door cards for '68 Mustang? I have some TMI standard interior ones I need to sell. You know about the door panels, the interior door panels? So you have a I guess a front set because the rear wouldn't be. You're not going to have a rear set. I don't know. Somebody might. I mean, I'm not sure when I'm going to be ready for any kind of interior stuff. I'm going to pull up a picture here that go to comments again. That Dawn sent me. The Dawn sent me. So here we go. I pull Nick's comment down. So there is actually, I think that's a 66. I think that's a 66 Commander. I think. Let me look at that. Yeah, the grill looks like a 65 or 66 because they went to the single headlights. That also looks like it has some badging on the side I can't make out. That has a very similar trim to what is on the Henry car. That's pretty cool. Got the Kragers on it. Looks pretty cool. I like it. That car would have come with a V8 Chevy engine in it, 283. Let's see. Um, Dave, who would ever have dreamed 14 and 15-inch tires would be hard to find? You're right. You're absolutely right. That's nothing. I mean, 14s I could see fading out, but 15s, everything had 15-inch tires. Every big vehicle out there had a 15-inch tire on it. So we're talking about the Corvette L88 is what we Roger and Dave had mentioned as well. William, I need a trunk lid for a 65 Falcon if anyone has one close to Georgia. So call out for 65 Falcon deck lid. Anybody? Anyone? Bueller? Let us know if you have one. You can email me too if you have one. In good shape. All right, Buckman. Mine is also tack drive distributor. AZ should be 15 by 8. Yeah, that's what they are apparently. Ray Cooper Cobras, BF Goodrich, a lot of manufacturers still carry 15s. 14s are harder to find. Yep. Robert, the El Camino has 235/60R15, and there's virtually nothing available that size now. Just overpriced cheap tires at $144 each and up for new ones. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So Dave sent me a picture of those the Dodge rally wheels that we were talking about earlier. That's not far off from kind of what's on it right now, except for these have actual holes on them instead of this style where it has the kind of a tapered bullet look to it or something. So that wouldn't look bad. You're right. That wouldn't look bad. Nick says, yeah, the panels are for the front doors. They're black. Okay. So if anybody needs any, I mean, I would probably take them off your hands, but I'm not ready for a set of door panels right now. But I would probably take them from you. Ray Buckman, that's a really nice looking car. Yeah, I agree. And here's another thing that I'm going to have to deal with because I don't have currently the front or rear bumper for this car. I also don't have the front valance, and everything else is there, the chrome and stuff, the trim. But I may be putting the thing together without bumpers, just because I don't know where they're at. And Don says, "Nice wheels." Yep. Robert, I like the front end of that one. Yeah, it's a little different. Like I said, 65 and 6, they went to single headlights, and they went to the 283 engine from Chevy. I'm a fan of the 4 headlights. It's just the way I like that in a car. Just like the Mach 1 has 4 headlights. I like that. The my 67 Belvedere, the 66 had 2 headlights. The 67 had 4. I like the 4. I just like the way that. I don't know. Maybe just me. I just like the way it looks. Car guy Troy checking in. Kind of late. Glad you're here. William, I bet Coker Tire has 14 and 15, but probably $300 a piece. Probably so. Wild Bill says Mopar look. Yep. Ray Buckman, I gave 125 each for 295 50 15. I tend to look around until the right price came along. Okay. That sounds like a decent price, actually. Car guy Troy needed a set of 13s for a Corvair. One company makes them that are not a trailer tire. Pricey and some off brand, but that was all that was available. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Ray Buckman has a European styling on the front grille. Uh, okay. I guess it does. I don't even kind of gives it. I know that these cars, a lot of the Studepakers had kind of a Mercedes style grille. Nick says that is a good looking car. Yep, it is. Hold on just a second. I have to return this. Okay. Harvey, no front bumper is cool. Ask me how I know. Tina doesn't need a front bumper. Yeah, I agree. Ah, sorry. Okay. Robert, I'm the same way with the Chevelles and other Jams. I tend to prefer the four headlight versions over the two. Yeah. Yeah, even the Chevelles, I like that. I do. I like the four headlights. I don't know why it is that it just kind of feels better. Even like the 68 or the 67 Mustang where they have the extra headlight in the grill or extra light, let's say in the grill. I like that look. But they I guess everybody has their own preferences. Okay. Let's see, Nick. They have plenty of 15-inch tires if you want to put drag tires on your car. Yeah, there you go. Go with the just put drag cars, drag tires on it. Dave Britton, my 75 Honda Civic has 12-inch unobtainium tires on it. Yeah, yeah, no luck there at all. You made me think about that just for a second. I don't remember what size they were. Um, the Corvairs, well, like, we were talking about the Corvairs earlier, and those still had a five lug. If I remember correctly, they had a five lug wheel. I don't know what that Honda has on it, but that triggered a memory of the Bernoulli cars. We had a fleet of those things. That's the only car that I know of that has three lug nuts. Yeah, that's it. It had three lug nuts. So it wasn't, five or six like they're putting on today or eight. It was three. And you think about that, and it's one thing to rely on four, right? Um, but and five, you can let's just say do the math and say, all right, I've got if one of these breaks, I've got four holding this on, so I'm okay. Or if one breaks and the other one breaks on the opposite side, I have three across from each other yeah, that's good. But on a Renault car and I say, it's Renault, it's not Renault, even though we tend to say Renault. I think of a bunch of those only had three lug wheels. So if you have three, and they were like spread apart, I can't make three, whatever. So they were spread apart pretty far. Um, and if you broke one of those, and they weren't even lug nuts, they weren't studs. If I remember correctly, they were actually bolts. So it was a regular like tapered bolt that you would turn in, and if you broke one of those, what are the odds that thing's going to want to pull away because of the distance those other two are spread out on that big, well, I say big brake drum, but yeah, yeah. The only car I've ever seen that had three lug nuts on it or bolts. Um, Robert might have to import some tuk tuk tires for the Honda. Yeah, Donnie Williams laughing at three lug nuts or three lugs. Yeah. Dave Tyson says, I guess Saab. I guess you're saying Saab. Um, so if it was like, did a Saab have three? And Nick, I've run with three lug nuts for years, not a problem. Yeah. Donnie Williams triangle pattern. Yes. Yeah. I'm not making a very good triangle pattern. Dave says old Saab. Okay. And Dave says my Civic has four, but odd spacing at 120 millimeters. Uh, yeah, 100. That's pretty big actually. 120 millimeters. That's pushing what, close to 4 inches, right? Because I know when I was in the military, I fired an 81 millimeter mortar, and it was about a little over 3.5 or 3 inches or something. And I think 120 was considered four deuce, 4.2 inches. Yeah, we call it the four deuce. So that had a much bigger bore, let's say. Cargo Troy Le Car had bolts like a VW. Okay, yep. Rusty sent pick the 68 with drag slicks. They won't hold air. Okay. Oh, that looks much, much better. I like that picture a lot. Let's get back to that one. See if I can't. That picture makes me feel better about the rear end of the car. So there. Boom. Yeah. Okay. I like that. That looks really cool. In fact, don't do anything else to it. Just put some glass in it and drive it. That looks perfect. Let me pull it back up. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back up here. The Dawn. Today we noticed that NASCAR had an entry at 24-hour Le Mans, actually finished 39th of 69 and finished. I did see that. I know that Jimmy Johnson was driving it along with some, I don't know who else. But if you, I didn't, I guess I didn't realize what they were doing until later. Obviously, they're trying to promote the, promote NASCAR in, to Europe or whatever. Um, that car did really well. From what I understand, it qualified first, 3 seconds ahead of any other car in its class, the GT class. So it qualified first, if I remember correctly. And then they were racing it, and they had to make one long pit stop to replace the brake pads. They went through the brake pads, and that was one problem. And then they had the transmission fail. And they said they had to spend an hour swapping out the transmission. But they still finished, and they were much more impressed. I think people were more impressed with what they did because they had never done it before. So I give a shout out to the NASCAR team or teams that put all that together. It was a cool looking car too. I must say I really like the looks of that Camaro a lot. I really, really do. So if anybody's looking for, a Christmas present this year, I would take one of those. Yeah, I would take one of those. Just saying. Dave Britton, yeah, regular Civic is 100 millimeter. Okay. William, Joe Biden, yeah, whatever. Let's get past that. Jerry, speaking of lug nuts, Robert, you still need to put a new one on my car. Oh, in my car. Oh, in the car. Well, you could probably do that now. Just go put one on the console. Yeah, and Robert says, yeah, it needs an ignition switch too. Yeah. See, you got work to do in the heat. Your favorite part. Ray Buckman, definitely better. Yeah, talking about the fat bottom girl there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that looks really cool. I must admit that looks really cool. Evans Garage, there it is, Rusty. Nice, yes. Robert, make sure those tires stay dirty too. Yeah. Nick, it's got the meats. Little shout out to Arby's there. William Ford is going for the gusto at Le Mans with new Mustang Dark Horse GT3. I welcome that. I do. I want them to do that, and I want to see Camaro go out there again. Now that they've got some experience, I want to see Chevy put their Camaro out there. Um, I don't know if what supposedly Dodge is doing away with their most popular car right now. I think they're doing away with it, turning it into some electric junk. The Dodge Charger, something or other, that are going to add V8 engine sounds to it so you can pretend that you're driving. Maybe they'll put their electric Charger out there and make it through about half the course, not even half the course, and have to park it because the battery died. William says this is the last year of Camaro. It's going bye bye. Okay. Well, I, I I'm not surprised at that because it was gone for how long before? 2010, I think, was the first year back after they quit making the dart shaped Camaro. Um, so maybe they'll do it in a cycle, right? They'll see that they're losing sales, and then they're going to give it another 5 years or something. You know what? That Camaro is pretty cool. Let's start making those again. Who knows? Yeah, Ray Buckman says, yeah, even the Challenger is supposed to be going electric. I must say, for Dodge or whoever's making that decision, to me, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. I really believe that. Because people aren't buying those cars because they're electric. They're buying those cars because they've got crazy, wicked V8 horsepower going under the hood, and you can take them out and wrap them around a telephone pole really fast. Um, they're not buying them because they're electric. Not going to happen. I think it's a horrible idea. Nick, did anyone mention they pulled the electric motor out of Project X and put a big block Chevy back in it? It just looks so much better. Um, you have to enlighten me because I don't even know what Project X is. So I don't know what that was. Was that some sort of a? Was it like the Crusher Camaro that they did years ago? I don't know. I don't know what Project X was. But they pulled the electric motor out and put in a big block Chevy. Okay. Ray says, I agree. Electric has too many problems. Charging stations take forever, not enough miles per charge. It's garbage for the in the grand scheme of things. Now, I've said it before. For a commute car like the Prius or something like that, where it's somebody's going to drive 80 miles and can let it sit and recharge all day or whatever. It can run on gas or electric. There's a place for those. There's even a place for, I'll say it, little electric cars. Kind of like the communities around where we live here, they have golf carts that take people everywhere in their community. But for a road car, no, can't. It's not. Doesn't make sense. Patrick Reynolds. Unfortunately, EV is the direction many are headed. Well, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's just a very poor choice. Evan's got a scoot. Have a great evening. Evan's Garage. Sorry. Glad you're here, Evan. Rick, Project X is a 57 Chevy Hot Rod has been messing around with different options for years. Ray Buckman says that as well. Thank you. I haven't kept up with it. Robert, they're buying the high horsepower V8 cars not only because it's fast, but it's the noise and the show value of a real engine. Some electric cars are super fast, but lack the rest of the experience. I agree. That is a valid point. Dawn, I blame Bud Light loving people. Okay. Dave Tyson, RC cars. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's value in the local commute type thing. If you're just driving from here to the grocery store, which is 5 or 10 miles up the road, or even 20 miles, 25, fantastic. That's great. But people have tried to drive these cars cross country and they can't get out of their state, and they have to sit for a day waiting for it to recharge. No, no. Patrick Reynolds, correct. In the semi world, a certain manufacturer is having issues getting charging stations installed. Yeah, yeah. And it's we've already discussed this, but the grid can't handle it. There's not enough energy. They can't make enough. Um, we'll just say, I know they call it their windmills. Blah blah blah. Costs more to make the windmill than it ever produces. I think. Ray Buckman, besides the fact that the cars are dangerous when wet. Yeah, yeah. Let's not forget about that. Poof. Hey, I can't put the fire out ever. Yeah, and then it's a hazard when you take it to the try to scrap it. It's a hazard. It's all hazard material. No. Dave Britton, in the future, will the guys be saying, check out the whine of that electric motor in that? Yeah. Yeah. Now, granted, like we said, you can get tremendous torque out of these things. They're drag racing them, and they're insanely fast because there's no spool up. It's just go. So I can see the fun in that to a point. But yeah, Robert, we're looking at a plug-in hybrid because for us, for our use, it makes sense. Full electric does not here, and it isn't cost effective for us either. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. That's the hybrid is a decent idea because you can obviously it's like self generating power and blah blah blah. So Lynn says I have enough. I have seen charging stations run by natural gas generators. There you go. Patrick, guys like you keep the hot rod spirit alive. Currently teaching my 15-year-old daughter the love of octane. Looking for a 6567 pony to work on. They're still out there. They're still out there. I probably just have a surplus 68 at the moment. I say surplus, but yeah. Scott Leach, hey y'all. Glad to hear Scott. Ray Buckman, F1 has an electric version of their car. I watched one and it sounded like the old race car. Oh yeah. Zip, 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 zip. Yep. Yeah, but what do they do to like if they're going to go X number of laps? How far will it go on a battery? And then what? You have to drop the battery out, put another one in, go zip zip zip, come back in, drop the battery out, put another one in. Yeah. I mean, I know that I think I've seen something with the F1 stuff, but let's see. CSX Cobra, glad you're here. 41 studio record with 6-to-1 compression. Do I need to add lead to the gas to be safe for normal driving? Well, that's a good question. That is a good question. Um, I don't know that the compression is a big deal. That's pretty low compression. But the reason they used lead a lot was because it was like a lubricant, right? Uh, so I don't even know if you can buy lead as an additive. I don't know for sure. There are other things you can add to it. Normally, um, the problem is you need hardened valve seats because that was part of the problem with the valves. The lead helped soften the blow at some point, I guess, but um, I don't think compression is really going to matter if it's had the valve seats replaced with hardened valve seats. You're probably okay. If not, then you probably need to put some sort of additive in there. Yeah. Or valve guides. Yeah, sorry about that. Valve guides. Robert, I can get another one in the shop now. Talking about another vehicle? Oh, another Mustang. Well, like I said, I have a 68 sitting here. And if somebody doesn't buy it the way it is, I'm probably going to pick parts from it, which I'm going to need parts anyway. So I might have to pick some parts from it. Don, ore batteries must last the race duration. That would be interesting to see how far I could go in the F1. Because, I mean, obviously the cars will fly, but I wonder how many actual laps they could get out of a battery. They might be short races. They might be 50-mile races, knowing how much energy those things put out. Dave, you'll need to get the valve guides changed for one. Yeah, talking about the Studebaker. So I said, and I think the valve seats are part of it too, but the valve guides, yeah. So you update that stuff. That's what I did in the Model A when I had it rebuilt. They put in the hardened seats and guides, and so I run on regular gas, and it runs fine. Doyle, lead does have some lubricant tendencies for solid lifters. Just add a little additive to your oil because of lack of zinc. Okay, so there's some. Thank you, Doyle. Glad you're here. Ray Buckman, I didn't watch long enough. They were fast, but not sure about the battery situation or laps. CSX Cobra says thanks, and Don says lead is for the seats. Okay, well, I knew the seats were involved for sure. I don't know. Don Dave says the guides. I don't know for sure, but I knew the seats were involved. So, thank you for the input. Appreciate that. So here's something else I've been thinking about, and y'all give me some input on this. I've been doing these live streams on Monday nights, and looking at my stats, let's say analytics on YouTube, they say that I have a lot more viewers. I don't know if it matters or not. A lot more viewers to my channel is on Sunday nights. Now I've been doing this on Monday nights just because it happened to work out that way. And I don't know if it matters to anybody or if it would be better if I did this on a Sunday night or not instead of Mondays. Just something I thought about today. I was like, well, it really doesn't matter much which night it is, I guess. But just kind of a thought process. I know everybody's gotten used to Monday nights, and I'm still fine with that. It makes no real difference to me. Same schedule, time, and all that sort of thing. So, William, I guess all these folks could haul around a gas generator to constantly charge the things. You know what's funny about that is I watched this. It was a TikTok video series where this guy took his Tesla and he bought a gas engine, a Predator gas engine from Harbor Freight. Okay, he took the back window out of his Tesla. Actually, had a Tesla. Took the back window out, built in a diamond plate box, and mounted that Predator engine in the back window of his Tesla. And he made it power the battery. Okay. And he took took this car and drove it like 1,800 miles or something. Now he didn't do it nonstop. His video series, you can probably find it. Look up gas powered Tesla or something. He went so far and he was like burning through gas. He's like, something's not right. And it turns out he had a gas leak and he was just blowing gas out the back of the car. So he did that. He fixed the gas leak. Here's what he did though. He never shut it off. That little gas engine He ran the car down the road, and he would monitor, whatever battery level was there, and he would go X number of miles. It might have been 300 miles or 200 miles or something, and he would stay with the night with somebody, and through the whole night that engine just kept running, so it could charge up the battery. And then the next day he left and drove so many, whatever distance it was. Um, so you can turn your Tesla into a hybrid. I thought it was just funny. And he put some sort of exhaust type tip on it. It was like burning blue flame coming out of it. It was quite the contraption. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about, the gas generator to constantly charge the thing. Robert, there was not a commercial before this live stream. My vids also get more views on Sunday as well. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder um, if I did that right, because that's something that I need to remember. Okay. All right. I corrected that. Um, so let me ask everybody while we're just kind of talking about it too. You've seen the latest, sets of videos. Um, yeah, Cobra says it'll be hard to ask a question with many more here. Yeah, that is true. That is true. So the last 4 videos that I've done on the Cobra Jet, if I remember correctly, one was like 45 minutes long, and then 48 minutes long, and 53 minutes long, and 103 minutes long, um, which is what YouTube wants. And based on the responses I'm getting, it seems like what a lot of people like to see is that longer videos. Now I know that in doing this, the shock towers, I had filmed a lot, and like I said in 7, I'm going to end up with a lot more footage here. So I'm also trying to figure out, in that same respect, should I or could I try to make 2 videos in a week instead of just one coming out on like Friday or Saturday or whatever day it is. Um, so that's kind of another thing that I'm trying to decide how I want to do it, because there's always more involved whenever you're editing and all the effort that goes into that. Um, so I've been kind of playing with that idea too. Should I be doing more than one video a week, or would that be good or bad? Is kind of the question, I guess. Terry Keithley, that poor little Energizer bunny won't last the whole race. Talking about the F1, yeah. Ray Buckman, I watched him enter the day. I love the interaction. Okay, well, thank you, Ray. And the Dawn also, I'd watch any night. Learn a lot here. Cool. Doyle would free up your Monday night for projects. I will try to join either day. Okay. Yeah, I mean, thank you for that. Dave Britton, I saw that video too. Yeah, it was interesting. Robert, I'm surprised the car would charge while he was driving. Well, he was some sort of electrical wizard dude. I don't know what he did. Um, it wasn't like it wasn't charging in excess of what it was using. It was like maybe like a, a slight charge versus what it was drawing. It wasn't an even number. So, but it was charging and running while he was driving. So, and he may have had it rigged up to where it was maybe those was running accessories or something instead of the battery running the accessories. I don't know for sure. There may have been some variables in there. Let's see. Rick, Chinese built Harbor Freight generator more reliable than a Tesla. It could be. Ray, I like the photo of people with small trailers towing a gas powered generator. Yes, I have seen that. I have seen that. Lynn, car cruises are on Sundays. Monday is good. Okay. Well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Cobra, do what works for you. YouTube channel will grow based on good content, not what YouTube wants. Okay, thank you for that. Dave Tyson, I guess, I guess, like to see more. Okay, thank you for that. Tommy, I like 1 hour videos. Anything less seems to be cutting the details out. Also, Sundays are fine. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, and I stress over that. I do because I was, in some ways, I was intentionally making my videos 15 or 20 minutes long and trying not to put in too much. And I don't want to use the word fluff, but um, stuff that, see, because you all know I'm pretty much, here's my focus, get out of my way. And I tend to think that way of everybody. Like they want to see, this is exactly what you're going to do for this, this, and this. Whereas the last few videos that I've made, I may have shared details on things that I haven't shared before, simply because I had the camera on my head and I was thinking about it, going, "Oh, you know what? Here, let me talk about this. I'm running this tape, doing this, why I'm doing this," as opposed to, "Here's what I'm doing, and here it is," kind of thing. So, it's helping me to make better videos and understand what people want at the same time. Ed Cucurella, he should try a long extension cord. Glad you're here, Ed. William, he must have had a generator attached to the motor, or maybe he had a huge capacitor. Who knows? I don't know exactly, but I know he had a gas powered, like Predator engine. I don't know. It's out there. The videos are out there. You have to check it out. Terry Keith says, "Me too, anytime." Okay, thank you, Terry. Patrick Reynolds, I like all the videos. Sometimes they're on alongside watching you separate welded pieces. Can get time consuming, yet we can fast forward if needed. Okay. Yeah, and I try to speed that up myself when I'm doing those sort of things. And if there's something that I want to say or find valuable, I'll slow that, make that section normal speed and talk about it as to what I'm doing. Now, of course, moving forward, there's going to be some other things happening with this car, because there's going to be a lot of test fitting, mocking, trying to make stuff line up and go where it needs to go. So, but thank you for the feedback. Patrick, we also like the input you give. Yes, thank you. Dave Britton, I like the new format with the head cam. Yeah, thank you for that. That's another thing I'm considering doing a little bit different. Um, I don't have the camera out here with me, but when I use this, the camera sits way up here. So if I have this on my head up here, right, the camera's way up here. And so sometimes I look and I try to preview with my phone to know, and I try to train myself that I need to have my eyes kind of squared so that I'm not looking away at the same time. Anyway, I'm thinking about redesigning or changing the way this hooks up. Instead of having the camera like this little generic camera I have, instead of having it up here and on top of my head like this, I'm thinking about flipping this over, and that would make it a little more difficult. But I could have this with the camera like almost right in front of my face, almost like right there on in my forehead, so that it would be more direct with what I'm actually looking at. So, just trying to improve things, right? So I may have to experiment with that as well. I got my hat all crooked, or maybe it's my head. One of the two. Here we go. Robert, I just edited my last one and didn't really pay attention to its length for a change. My next one is going to be a little longer as well once it's edited. There you go. William, I think your format is perfect. Finding a better time slot day may gain more viewers. Yeah, whenever I look at my YouTube analytics, it'll tell me when most viewers are on, or my viewers in particular. And so if I go to my, like, I can just click on this right now while we're talking about it. I go to my audience, and it'll tell me what days and what times most of my viewers are on. So, like on Fridays, 5 p.m., very many of your viewers are on. But if I go to Sunday, it starts off at 3 p.m. and runs all the way till 9 p.m. and says very many of my viewers are on. And that bracket gets narrower on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then it gets a little bit wider Friday, but then Saturday it drops off 7 p.m. So when you try to upload something, it's you need to get in that same time period when people are going to be watching, that they're more available to watch. So there's a lot of things that it's hard to keep up with, but anyway. Tracy, you know what it's like to fix a car, right? Is that a question mark? I I know what it's like to fix a car. Yeah. Or, oh, you know what it's like to fix a car, right? Sorry, I didn't know how that was. I just read it as kind of my mind read it. So you're stating that I know how to fix a car right, as in the right way. Thank you for that, Doyle. You could do a 20-minute live stream while you're working on the Mustang with the GoPro. I guess. Well, I'd have to figure that out. I hadn't thought of that. I'd have to figure out how to do that. I'd have to go through my phone, I guess, and okay, I'll have to think about that one. Patrick's, hey, 60 minutes with you is years ahead of a Discovery Channel program with 10 minutes of footage and 20 minutes of commercials. I agree. I agree. And the thing too, like the stuff you see on TV, they don't show you a lot of details. I used to watch. I haven't watched Counts Custom in years. Too much drama and crap. I don't care about what Horny Mike did and blah 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 and the car wash guy. I don't care about any of that. Just don't waste my time. Kind of like American Chopper was interesting, and then it just kind of went off the rails with all the drama. Um, so I know that like Ken Diggett, I'll watch him occasionally, and usually they're showing you something. You actually get some information in the process, even though they do have their personality type of things. But I don't really keep up with any of those shows anymore. Just just blah, waste of time. Scott Leach, the metalwork videos are very interesting to me since I have no experience in that. Luckily, my new 68 Mustang project has almost no rust. Well, that is worth a bell. Dave, some guys do the chest cam. Yeah, I tried that. Um, I didn't like it. I didn't like first of all, I didn't like the thing on my chest. I felt very constrained or restrained or whatever. So I didn't like the way it felt. And then as I'm trying to do things, I found myself like intentionally trying not to use my arms and like pulling something towards me or pushing it away. Whereas on my head, the only real complaint I've had from my head was the what is it, part five. I think it was part five when I did the first GoPro with that. Um, because when I'm doing stuff and I'm needing tools, I'm like just going. And when somebody complained and said, "Oh, you're moving so fast, you're making me dizzy," and I'm like, "Well, that's kind of how I operate." But I've now what I'm trying to do before I make the shot is I'll try to get all the tools as close to me as I can, and not try to move so quickly and lose people in the process. So, but the chest cam, I did not like that. Robert says you just need a cyborg camera eye to film with. Yeah, that would be cool. Doyle, middle of chest body cam. No, I tried that. Did not like it. Rusty, you'll have to have a third safety glass. Well, it's funny. The camera's not out here, but I did buy the lenses. I put the new cover on. I talked about that last week because I had hot sparks burn this lens. So I put a new one on, and then I put the hard glass on front of it, so it's covered up. So hopefully that'll protect it. Jerry says, "Oh, and Robert will owe me a production credit on his next one." Okay. Scott, I watch every Monday show, even when I miss it live. Any day is fine. Okay, thank you. Lynn, Sunday morning show would be cool. Friday night is good too. Yeah, I don't know if I give up Friday nights. Usually it's stuff going on with the family or something. So kind of hard to step away from that. Robert says you can use your GoPro as a webcam off the laptop. Okay. I don't know if I could use it to like actually do a live stream though, like have it on my head and do the live stream. I don't know how that would interact. I don't know what I'd have to do for that. The Dawn, what I don't get is it shows 47 people watching and only 30 likes. Everybody thumbs up and let's support Barry and the channel. Thank you for that, Dawn. Appreciate it. Ed Cucciarella, Sunday night, you could do cat videos. I could. That's what I could do. I could just take the one cat we have left and put it in a crate out here on the table and just let it sit here. And everybody could watch it and listen to it meow constantly. Yeah, probably not that popular. Patrick, yes, a Mustang live feed would be awesome. I've done that one or two times before. It was a little bit tricky to pull off. I couldn't do it with the GoPro on my head. I did it with my webcam setup. Dave Britton, I've watched less than 4 hours of TV in the last 20 years. Just can't take the constant interrupting commercials. That's why I don't listen to radio anymore. Nope. Unless my wife has something on in our when we're driving in her van, I don't even turn the radio on in my car. I'd rather listen to nothing than listen to all the commercials constantly being hammered. William, around the neck, maybe. I know they make cameras that fit on hat brims. We use them in shooting matches to record our shooting. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it on my head. I really am. I've gotten used to it. I was just looking at a way to improve the angle so that it wasn't, up here when my eye level is here. The perspective changes a little bit when you bring it down. We'll see how it goes. Tommy, showing the details help people understand the difficulty they have on projects is not just their limited ability. Yeah. Yeah. Splitting seams, stuff like that. Yeah. And, speaking of which, I did mention in the last video, or the one before, I don't remember which, maybe it was 7, that I needed one of these seam busters that had the 90-degree angle on it. So, Charles, sorry, not Charlie, Charles, he got me one. So now I have 2. I have the straight one and the 90-degree. So now it would make it easier to separate some of these spot welds. Robert, Insta360 has a very tiny camera that would clip on a hat. Okay. Have to look some of that up. Oh, not a phone call, not now. Dawn, get your wife to direct and video you. Yeah, that would go over really, really well. Really, really well. Rick, it's annoying watching the stream when it's not live because you can't interact with people even though you're tempted to. Yeah, I could see that. Dave Conville, I can help you with the cat video content. Yeah, I'm not going to need any of that. Rick, hey now, be nice to your wife's cat. No putting it in a crate. Okay. It won't sit still in front of the camera, though. I got to make it stay in front of the camera, right? Chris Greenaway checking in. Glad to hear Chris. Dave Britton, Barry, does your wife ever come out and give you a hand? Actually, I've asked her to on an occasion, and she does. She doesn't want to be on camera. Doesn't want any of that. But later on, when we start doing RV videos, she's going to have to be on camera. No getting away from it there. But yeah, I've had to. Um, Sometimes I've like get a hood out of the paint booth. She's helped me do that. Uh, Sometimes doing if I'm doing like brake work on somebody's car, I've had her pump the brakes for me and bleed the brakes, and so yeah, she does help on occasion. Doyle, but now you have a friend in the diamond business. LOL, Shane Company only plays 12 times an hour. Yep, and I hate. Don't get me started on the whole diamond industry. What a joke that is. No, Eric Johnson. Sorry I'm late. Glad you're here, Eric. The De Beers family has made it, one of those things where create a product and then create a need for the product, a demand for the product. So give credit to De Beers for getting people to buy rocks. Dave Tyson, I've been watching your video, watching your 10-year-old videos. Let's see, that would have been 2013. Probably not the best videos. Um, that might have been with the light blue Mustang, maybe some on the. I don't know if the Dune Buggy was before that, but so yeah, those are a little bit rougher videos. Terry Keithley, boy, you don't want to know what Betty just said about the cat crate. Well, sometimes you have to put them in the crate. Like if my wife has to take it to the vet, she has to put it in the crate to get it there. So we have to have a crate for that because she's not going to let it run around in the van while she's driving. But yeah, it won't sit here. If you have it, you try to make it sit on the table, it's not going to stay. It's going to run away. Just trying to be proactive. Rick, get a small camera, attach it to the cat's head, and let it run around. Should make for interesting content. Yeah, all that content would be is that's what the cat content would be. You always get that surprise. Hey, where did it throw up today? Let's see. Hey, Dave Britton, hey, have to run. All have a good weekend. Have a great week. Yes, thank you, Dave. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go too. I can already feel my voice is starting to get rough, and I know that's time for me to quit. Ray Buckman, 50 people watching, 18 likes, but hit that like button, folks. Barry and all, have a great week. Work tomorrow. Yes, glad you're here, Ray. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. Any of my videos, hit the like button. If you watch anything that I put out, hit that like button because that helps YouTube know that people are watching and they like it, right? And they want to promote that. So likes and or comments, if you want to leave a comment, that would be great. But most importantly, hit that like button and just let them know that this is something you like and other people may like as well. All that helps with the algorithm that YouTube has. Robert says I'm showing 52 watching and 56 now. 56 likes. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to call it a night. Rick, if you bring the cat in the shop, make sure it's wearing a little pair of safety glasses. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know how hard it would be to get safety glasses on a cat. It might last a second or two. So, yeah, also share them with friends too. Yeah, talking about the videos, definitely. Sharing the videos helps a ton. Okay. And Tracy says, I always hit the like button before I start watching. Well, awesome. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so I'm going to call it a night. I will be back this coming Monday. And then I don't know if the next Monday is probably the 3rd. I will not be back for the first night or first Monday in July. Got other stuff going on, But that'll be it for tonight. So again, thanks everybody for being here and participating and having a good time talking about stuff and keeping this active. I appreciate y'all so much. But that'll be it for tonight. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.